If we start with selection of the irrigation system type, we will find that the system type will be depending on the plant type and its characteristics. So if we start with the spray sprinkler, we will find that we have two main types for the spray sprinkler: shrub spray sprinklers and pop-up spray sprinkler. Spray sprinkler is a sprinkler which already you will notice through the lawn area, and it mainly utilized for inaccessible lawn areas, as there is no human or pedestrian will walk through this lawn. While for the pop-up sprinkler, it's commonly hidden under the ground and it comes up when it's in an irrigation position. So in this case, it will be very reliable and very effective to be used for the lawn that have a pedestrian or a walkway areas. If we go for the rotating sprinkler, we have two main types: impulse or impact sprinkler and pop-up gear drive sprinkler. Commonly, you will see this type of sprinkler for irrigation of large playgrounds and large span of lawn or grass area, as the distance between these kinds of sprinklers will be longer than the distance between the traditional spray sprinkler. So for the same area, you will use lower number of rotating sprinkler with respect to the spray sprinkler. However, we will discuss later that the flow rate requirement and the pressure requirement for the rotating sprinkler is higher than the requirement of the spray sprinkler. If we go for the bubblers and drip irrigation devices, it's mainly we can call as a zero radius or short radius types with ultra low volume types. It's commonly used for the shrubs, trees, short trees, and palm trees, and it can be arranged to have a linear drip lines or through ring drip lines. Even the bubbler you may find installed visible beside each palm tree or each large tree. And in this system, it's mainly we can say that it's a water saving system, as there is no any incident of vaporization or mis-irrigation for the plant. It commonly irrigate the plant that need water with its requirement specifically. So that's why we are calling it a zero radius irrigation system, because it is directly beside the plant that it will irrigate. So there is no any chance of mis-irrigation or losing the water through splash outside the green area. Even the quantity of the vaporized water from this system is lower than the rotating type sprinkler or the spray sprinkler. So this system is commonly classified when we are going to water save or to provide a water saving study through the system. Spray sprinkler. As we said that the spray sprinkler has two main types: shrub type, which is commonly visible through the lawn area and utilized where the lawn area are not accessible by humans or pedestrians, while for the pop-up spray sprinkler, commonly used where the lawn area are accessible with pedestrians, as the sprinkler in this case is hidden under the ground and then expanded above the ground in the irrigation position. Where to use the spray sprinkler? It's required for the smaller landscape areas, for those areas with enclosed borders, requiring tightly controlled spray. For areas with dense tree growth that would significantly hinder a rotating sprinkler's coverage, and for areas that have mixed sections of planting that required different amount of water. The operating pressure of the spray sprinkler is commonly between the 15 to 30 psi, while the coverage through is from 1.5 to 6.5 meter. You may find the sprinkler in three main position type or angle of orientation or angle of irrigation. You may find 360-degree angle or 180-degree angle or 90-degree angle. The 360-degree angle is commonly used when the sprinkler is allocated in the middle of the lawn area, while for the 180-degree, it's commonly used when the sprinkler is allocated through the edge of the lawn area. And for the 90, it's used when the sprinkler is allocated in a corner of a lawn area. Rotating sprinkler. Rotating sprinkler has two main types, impulse type and pop-up gear drive type. Configuration of irrigation, large lawn areas, shrub, ground cover areas. Rotating sprinkler use various means for converting a portion of the flow and pressure passing through it to be changed to drive or to turn it to an energy to turn the sprinkler. So in this case, the operating pressure for this type of sprinkler can reach 100 psi and the covering area can reach 30 meters. And the estimated flow rate for these sort of sprinklers, it can reach 100 gallon per minute per each sprinkler. So it makes it very commonly used and more popular to be used for large areas that you need limited quantities of irrigation devices to be used. So you may find a large playground with only 4 sprinkler of this. Bubbler devices. They are a zero radius or short radius types with ultra low volume. Bubbler produce short through or zero radius water distribution. The most common type of bubbler deliver about from half to 3 GBM, gallon per minute. The advantage of a bubbler is that it can irrigate a specific area without overthrow onto other plants, so accordingly it saves water. The cover through is about from 0.5 to 1.5 meter. Accordingly, bubbler commonly used for large trees or palm trees. Drip irrigation device. Drip irrigation and low flow devices have some of the advantage of bubbler and more. There is less chance of runoff or erosion because of the ultra low flow of drip devices. Lines contains drippers for flow control. The expected operating pressure is about 20 psi. The most common flow rates for the emitter can be from 2 liter per hour up to 8 liter per hour. Drip irrigation system save a lot of water in comparison to another way of irrigation, and it's used also for the green buildings. Accordingly, and as Bear indicated, we can say that each line from the drip lines are containing more than one dripper. We can say it as an emitter. This is the shape of the emitter with multiple flow rate as per needed. Each line in the grid line of the drip irrigation are parallel to the plantation line. So if we have a shrub plantation, we will have a line parallel to the shrubs. And the distribution of the emitter commonly are used to be 0.5 meters between each emitter and the other. While from the grid line to another grid line, we can say it's following the distribution of the shrubs itself. So the best usage for the drip system, we can say that's commonly used for the ground cover plantations, even for the we can have a ring drip irrigation. It's commonly used for trees and palms. We can say that this type of drip irrigation can be as an alternative for the bubbler method, and it's low flow and low consumption with respect to the bubbler method. If we have a palm or even a large tree, we commonly can use two circular grids. These circular grids have emitters as well. We can say as a rule of thumb that most of the palm trees are commonly using tubes of double ring. We can have 8 emitters for each plantation. So accordingly, the activation of the system by the emitters, it's installed on each ring. So we can say that each ring have 4 emitters, and the flow rate from the emitter for large palm trees can reach from 4 liter per hour to 8 liter per hour. And this is as per the consumption or the requirement of the plantation itself. Sprinkler spacing and distribution. Small planter and narrow planting beds can usually be adequate irrigated with drip irrigation, flood bubblers, stream bubblers, or short radius spray sprinkler. Landscape strips can be irrigated in several ways. For strips that are 4 to 7 feet wide, pop-up for lawn and shrub sprinkler or high pop-up for shrub areas can be used with center strip or end strip spray nozzle. Wider lawn areas. The designer is using standard arc spray pattern. The designer has selected 12 feet radius, which is about 3.5 meter radius. Large open areas are easier to design irrigation for than the smaller one. Most at the past use a small impact sprinkler rotor type, which have a radius of about 12 meter, with an adjustment range up to 10 meters. Spray sprinkler were used where the area to be watered of 9 meter wide or less. Very large open areas are the domains of a rotating sprinkler. Large lawn, sport fields, vast shrub or ground cover areas, slopes, parks, schools, golf course, and agriculture fields, which allow for the efficient use of large radius sprinkler. Sprinkler spacing and distribution. The area under the first 60% of the sprinkler radius is generally sufficiently irrigated to grow vegetation without the need of an overlapping sprinkler. Beyond this 60% line, the amount of water diminishes with distance, become less and less effective, and eventually will not support the plant. Head-to-head arrangement or 50% sprinkler spacing is the most common sprinkler spacing used in the landscape irrigation, where wind are a threat to go coverage spacing as close as 40% may be required. So, for summarizing this, we can say that the common arrangement should respect a 50% overlap between each sprinkler and the other. And for the high wind area that we could be aware from the wind effect, we have to increase the overlap to be 40%.